Hey folks, we are going to continue working on development of the Martial Powers project, a mana source system for martial characters in Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition, inspired by Magic the Gathering and the tap untap burned 5-color mana spell point variant rule mechanics that we published on DMsGuild a few years back. There's actually links in the description down below to the color mana spell point variant rules that we're riffing off of to build out this Martial Powers mechanical systems. You can check that stuff out. It has an extensive free preview. I'm going to check my make sure I'm live and running. Then I'm going to go through my intro spiel, and then we're going to get to work. So mic check 1 2 3. Checking mic check 1 2. Checking mic check 1 2. Cool. Sounds good to me. Okay, cool. So if you're catching us in the future and you've been here before and you know who I am, you can go ahead and skip ahead like a minute or two for us to get into the mix of things. For the undoctrinated and those just arriving, welcome to the mix. My name is Theurgy. I create role-playing game supplements. I illustrate them and then publish them online. I've been focusing my attention on Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition for the past 5 years with a strong lean towards the Magic the Gathering game that Wizards of the Coast also owns. And it's been my joy and privilege to create color mana spell point variant rules for D&D players to emulate Magic the Gathering inside of their own role-playing games. So if you're here for the artwork, there's a slew of links to the different books that I've published down below, and there's probably about 150 different illustrations amongst them that are available in the free previews that I post. And if you're a D&D enthusiast, a DM or a player, just exploring ideas or looking for new things, you're most welcome here. And you can check out the stuff that I have down below. If you think any of that stuff is cool, want to consider adding it to your campaign, making a purchase would certainly be appreciated. So, but not required. So love to have you guys on board. More than anything, I think I'd just love to have your support here on the stream as we continue to attempt growing. I've just posted that I'm live on Twitter, so if you're on Twitter X still, you can follow me at Filkearney, at Filkearney. That's me. Hey, and you can see different illustrations, articles, projects that I've been posting online as well, just to get more of an idea of the kind of stuff that I build. We're trying to get ourselves up to 500 subscribers as our first major milestone. So like, subscribe, hit the bell icon. I'm here 6 days a week, like anywhere from 9 to 12 times, streaming different projects, whether it's the Martial Powers project like this that we're working on, or the Spelljammer Combat and Exploration, which we're actually still illustrating right now in the mornings, Monday through Friday. When this book is done, it'll also be published on DMsGuild, and there'll be a link to it down below. You can check out all the mechanics and ideas for running Spelljammer campaigns in Wild Space using 5th edition and the variant rules that we have for ship and character interactions. So, but right now, yeah, we're focusing on Martial Powers. So, let's see. We are currently on episode 93, and so you can check out the past 92 episodes here on the Martial Powers 5e development stream to see all the stuff that we've got going on. Right now, we've been working our way through the monk features, and I had a chance to take a look at the new UA here for the Player's Handbook. I thumbed through the monk details, and so far I am thrilled with what I'm seeing for the monk. I'm happy. Mechanically, I'm content. I won't say happy. I'm content with where we're at with the barbarian. And of course, once this book publishes, and the other spell point variant rules that we've created, when 2024 publishes, we're going to go through and we're going to reformat all of that and integrate all the new mechanics that are for the new, so that the spell point variant rules stay up to date. And who knows, by the time 2024 PH publishes, maybe there'll be more MTG stuff out there for us to explore together, which I would absolutely love to partake in. So when we're done with this Martial Powers project, it should still be good for what we currently know 5e to be. But obviously, like I was saying, looking at the changes that we have here in the new UA for the Barbarian and for the Monk, if these changes stick, that's going to make my job a lot easier, because Wizards is curving their design philosophies in the direction that we've been outlining here in Martial Powers for the past 10 months. So I'm actually very excited about seeing where they may end up at and how much easier it's going to be for us to integrate these martial power mechanics into martial characters' action loops and building your own identity for your martial character as part of the team. So I won't bore anyone too much with details, so without any further ado, I'm going to dive into Way of the Open Hand and the way that we do this. And after, I haven't looked at, I know that Open Hand is a showcased subclass that they have in the new playtest content. I've specifically not looked at it at all. So our grand experiment today is to crack out what I think is sensible design for the monks, given the information that we have right now, using the new tech that we've developed with the martial power system. And when we finish that, I will humble myself and look at what Wizards has come up for the 8th playtest. And perfectly honest, if they beat my chops and they have better ideas than I have for the open hand monk specifically, I'm willing to change. I'm going to have to anyway, so it's nice for us to take a look at it. But I want to take my own. I want to have my own take on where we're at with what the system is to date currently, and then look at where Wizards is taking their design direction from there. So this is the way that we do it. The way that the martial power subclass options work is the same as you would expect for spellcasting classes. There are approximately just a little bit over 200 different new powers that we offer. About 150 of them require you to spend mana or like spell points to be able to activate or to maintain. But then there's a good 50-ish, 60, just about 60 some odd options that don't require any mana at all. For people that believe that martials should be simple, what could be simpler than for you to throw your mana pool away and just pick out a bunch of feats and a bunch of damage types and a bunch of combat masteries that you can always use and not have to worry about keeping track of a mana pool. If you don't want to, you don't gotta. But again, to the philosophy of subclass design, each of the subclasses for all the barbarian, the fighter, the monk, the ranger, the barbarian, fighter, monk, rogue, those martial subclasses all receive a batch of 10 powers off of this 207 power list that we've developed over the past 10 months. And for paladins, they already get 10 spells automatically given to them, given whatever their oath is. So we leave them in that oath space. And Way of the sorry, I'm just reading out loud. Rangers have a mix of either no bonus spells, 5 bonus spells, 1 per level gained at 3, 5, 9, 13, and 17. Or in some instances, they get 10 spells, 2 per gain at 3rd, 5th, 9th, 13th, and 17th. So what we're doing currently is we're fleshing out the monks, and then we're going in and we're fleshing out the rangers list so that if they don't have 10 bonus spells that are automatically given to them, we give them bonus powers to flesh that out. And then at the very end, we'll go through the paladin and see if any of the paladin oaths get a bonus smite spell for free. And if they do, we're going to replace those smite spells with the strikes, the divine strike powers that we have in this book that the paladin can use instead of the smite system. So further ado, there we go. So we already went here just now and grabbed the text from Way of the Open Hand. We dropped it here into our notepad. I will read out loud for everyone to absorb the information. I'm then going to riff off of that using the tech that we've developed here in the Martial Powers book. Oh yeah, for those that want to play along. So as you know, if you click down here into the description and you scroll down to where it says playtest content and early looks on my Patreon, you don't have to be a member of my Patreon to benefit from the mechanics, because these are all just public view stuff that you can look at. But there's various different books, mechanics, and playtests that I have going on, along with different articles and ideas. So if we stream down here to the playtest content for Martial Powers, YouTube streams here. That's us right here, right now. Hey guys, how you doing? But if you click on this Martial Powers button, it'll take you to the Martial Powers playtest content, which is the same thing as you can see here in Google Docs, Martial Powers playtest content. See the correlation there? The only difference is it's a read-only document for you guys. And once we get this off to an editor and he passes it back to us for us to start doing page layouts and active design in our morning or evening streams in 2024, we'll withdraw this playtest document as finalized. And then once it's completed, it'll be in the it'll be on DMsGuild, and there'll be a free preview for you to look at there. But for now, we're going to be doing a play test in the new year. So anyone that's interested in this stuff, check it out. We're giving preferential treatment for seats at the table for people that are members of our Patreon for at least $1 or more. So if you want to support the team and get on board, have a vote on what day of the week it is that we're going to play test, and assuming that lines up with your availability, then give you preferential seating at the play testing. It's going to be a West March hex crawl style campaign where people can drop in, drop out on a daily basis. The goal is just to get through the environment using the resources and mana and powers that you have available to your characters in the playtest to overcome the challenges that you encounter. And once we're done with all these class features, we'll be shifting gears into the DM hat and start building that playtest campaign setting, so you can see kind of behind the doors. I run campaigns from level 1 to 20 in about 200 to 250 hours. So if you haven't had an opportunity to hang out with a DM that is well-versed, familiar, and comfortable working in the 3rd and 4th tier of game, I'm that guy. So hang out, ask questions, have fun. Let's see what kind of trouble we can get into. So let's see, we are going to drop down here out of long death into the open hands. We do the power list second. So the first thing we do is the open hand. We're going to do the features, and once the features are converted, then we'll go back up and we'll see what different powers already exist in the game that we think are cool, that would be complementary to the play style that's being introduced by the open hand. So, Way of the Open Hand. Monks of the Way of the Open Hand are the ultimate masters of martial art, combat. Whether armed or unarmed, they learn techniques to push and trip their opponents, manipulate ki to help to heal damage to their bodies, and practice advanced meditation that can protect them from harm. Open hand techniques. So, starting when you choose this tradition at 3rd level, you can manipulate your enemy's ki when you harness your own. Whenever you hit a creature with one of the attacks granted by your flurry of blows, you can impose one of the following effects on that target. It must make a dexterity saving throw or be knocked prone. It must make a strength saving throw, and if it fails, it gets pushed up to 15 feet away. It can't take reactions until the end of your next turn. Okay, so those are 3 things. All those things already exist inside the martial power system as combat masteries. So let's go down and visit our combat masteries. Everyone should know what weapon masteries are at this point, which are basically like weapon cantrips. Depending on what kind, like if you're holding a giant hammer, you hit somebody with it, you could push them like 5 feet or whatever. And so obviously this open hand technique is superior in that you can push people up to 15 feet away from you, and there's no size limit involved. This has the push feature, it has the knock prone feature, and it has can't take reactions until your next turn. So we've seen some sensible updates to how that works, in that, for example, shock, target must make a Constitution saving throw or cannot make opportunity attacks until the end of their next turn. The combat masteries decouple the techniques from the weapons and infuse them into the character. So while at, say, 1st level, you can learn up to 2 techniques or 2 known powers at 1st level, and it continues to escalate to 16 at 20th level, and then you get the 10 bonus powers on top of it, so you'll end up with 26 powers. You can choose to learn any of these combat masteries, so it doesn't matter what weapon you're using, or whether it's an unarmed strike or it's a natural attack. If it's something that you're proficient in, you can use this mastery regardless. Like if you're using a dagger, you could use push with the dagger. It doesn't cost any mana. It's just I hit you with a knife and you're going to fall back 5 feet as a result of it. Hit somebody in the hamstring, you're going to take them take a step, or they're going to take a knee. For example, trip. Target must make a dexterity saving throw or is prone. There you go. So there's that. There's the prone thing that you can do for free no matter what with any attack, which kind of usurps this here. You're basically getting combat mastery for free. Here we're looking at strength saving throw. If it fails, you can put... Now you have to know that you have to choose to learn these techniques, these combat masteries. Otherwise, you could pick, like if you picked up the hammer, you'll have the weapon mastery that lets you push because you're using a hammer. So even like a cleric can use the push technique while using a hammer. But if you choose to study the combat mastery, you can use that push technique literally with anything you're proficient with, as I just said. So I think I already have a solution that's coming to mind here. But this says that you have to make a strength saving throw. If it fails, you can push it up to 15 feet away from you. We have the push feature here. Target makes a strength save or is pushed away 5 feet. We don't currently have a size restriction on that, so take that to heart. And then the last thing here is you can't take reactions until your next turn, which is what is that? Shock, which is target makes. Actually, I want to change that to stagger. I don't think we have anything in here called staggering. I'm going to look up. I'm going to do that real quick. Let's look up stagger. Yep, staggering. That is literally the only instance I have stagger in the game. So, I'm trying to give them like these noun verby type things. Like you vex somebody, you trip somebody, somebody begins to straggle because you reduce their speed by 10 feet. Step, you can shift your position 5 feet as part of the attack. You can shift your position 5 feet as part of the... You can shift your position 5 feet after a successful hit. There, how about that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. Take reaction until end of your next turn. And stagger, con save, or cannot make an OA until the end of their next turn. Until the end of your next turn. Our timing's a little different in wording, like having things affecting the target that's being hit by the buff effect as opposed to being measured off of my action economy, off of their action economy. It's a different in mentality that we have in the martial power system from spellcasting or other features. But open hand technique. So that is currently where we're at, and I have LeFou, I'm afraid I've been thinking. It's a dangerous pastime, I know. But let's see. Let's go with open hand technique. Starting when you choose this tradition at 3rd level, you can manipulate your enemy's ki when you harness your own. Whenever you hit a creature with one of the attacks granted by your flurry of blows, you can impose one of the following effects. You have to spend mana to trigger you have to use flurry of blows, which is your bonus action. You get 3 of them. I think I want to change this. Because you can already use combat masteries anytime you hit somebody, including during reactions. So the action economy of requiring flurry of blows is no longer relevant. I'm thinking, hold on. Okay, let's do it this way. Hold on. Yeah, okay. I want to actually go back to the text. Ultimate Master of Martial Arts, whether armed or unarmed. You learn techniques to push and trip opponents, manipulate ki, heal damage, bodies, blah. Okay. Open hand technique. Starting when you choose this tradition at 3rd level, you can choose 4 combat masteries to learn. whenever you finish whenever you gain no, let's do that. Let's do it this way. You can choose 4 masteries to learn. How do I want to do this? You can choose 4 combat masteries to add to your list of powers known. And you can add an additional combat mastery when you gain another rank of power as a monk. 3rd equals 4. 5th equals 5. 9th equals 6. 13th equals 7. 17th equals 8. That is a... I'm speaking leet. This is in addition to the bonus powers gained with this archetype. So the open hand, being the ultimate martial artist, has a shitload of techniques that they understand. It's leaning even further into the narrative of what the open hand technique is supposed to be. The ultimate martial artist. So they have free access to all 8 of these masteries that we've created without having to actually expend any of your own power budget to learn them. And you can, well, I mean, you could learn 4 of them, and then you could just choose. Like you gain 4 of them at 3rd level, and you have 4 known powers on your own at 3rd level. So, and then you'll get 2 bonus powers as well on top of it. So you're gonna get a shitload of them, but you could choose at 3rd level to know all 8 of them right away. And then at 5th level, when you gain another rank of power, you could then replace, like if you picked up these first 4 and then you decide to pick up step, when you gain the extra one, another one at 5th level, you could choose to unlearn step, gain it for free from the open hand. That opens up a spot for you to learn a different technique. Because every level, whenever you gain a level, or a monk, whenever you take a long rest, you can choose to prepare an entirely new list of combat masteries from the book, if you please. Just like a paladin can choose to prepare all new spells whenever they finish a long rest. So we're giving them we're giving martials the same type of versatility that we see from the spellcasters. So that idea of spellcasters are quadratic versus martials are linear in progression. The difference there primarily is having options and being able to change your role inside of the party on a daily basis. This system is allowing you to do that as well in a pure opt-in, opt-out sort of situation. So I think I am very happy with what this is. So we're just going to go ahead and grab this and dunk on that. That feels pretty fucking sweet. So we'll go monk level, and we'll go with total. Oh wait, combat masteries. 3, 5. And you'll see all throughout this book, if you check out this stuff with me, you'll see all throughout the book that there's language about gaining ranks of power as the class that you're operating in. This is to help break apart while still leaning into multi-classing. Just like a fighter gains 0 levels of multi-class spellcasting levels, full casters gain 0 levels of martial power multi-class channeling. But like a ranger, a paladin, and an artificer. Actually, artificer doesn't. The artificer can use infusions to build items that possess power that they could then use their spell mana budget with to then trigger themselves to the device, or they can give it to somebody else if they have their own mana supply. But the ranger and the paladin, they gain half casting progression as a half casting class, divide the level by 2 round down. That's the number of levels that a paladin or a ranger would contribute to accumulating power. But in the martial power progression system, all the barbarian, fighter, monk, paladin, ranger, and rogue, those 6 classes, they all gain level for level. So you just progress through and build up to your max rank of power. Like if I have 7 levels of paladin and 4 levels of monk, that would put me at 11 multi-class levels of power. So I'd be able to channel up to 3 ranks worth of mana. I'd be rolling a d8 on my power die when I would do smite type things or boost effects. And I would have a total of 11 known powers as a result of this. But I would also gain the bonus spells and the spellcasting selection from the paladin spellcasting features on top of the known powers and the known powers that you'll gain as an 11th level multi-channel, multi-class channeler. So you get your bonus spells from the paladin, you get your bonus powers from your monk, but this known powers list supersedes and replaces the number of spells known and the number of spells prepared that a ranger or a paladin has access to, respectively. They just fold into this power paradigm. So no matter what, you're going to end up with 16 powers in the end, but you'll be able to split up. And 7th level paladin has access to 2nd rank powers, and a 4th level monk has access to 1st rank powers. So even though you can channel up to 3 mana at 11th level, you wouldn't be able to learn or prepare above 2nd rank powers because none of your individual classes exceed 2nd rank of power. Although they combine to be able to spend more mana overall, the actual knowledge of what these powers are advance per class. But all classes, unless you use the limitation factors, like for example, rogues can know strikes and exploits, but they can't know maneuvers or reactions, for instance. Then you would have those silos of limiting their power if you chose to go that path. There's keys and there's little options and caveats that DMs can introduce to make accessing power in your campaign more palatable to the type of campaign that you want to run, instead of it just being an open book, right? Just like in the player's handbook, the DM can just choose whether or not to allow different types of spells in the game. This also is since powers are divided into 5 different disciplines, and then there's also the non-mana 6th discipline out there. You can limit what types of powers a specific class has access to. It's like a monk has access to all of them. So if you had, and a paladin has access to smites and sustained effects, for instance, if you wanted to limit their scope. So multi-classing into monk and paladin, you'd be able to learn any technique or any discipline, any power of any discipline of 1st rank. But if you wanted to learn a 2nd rank power, if as a paladin, it would have to either be a strike or a sustained power or a non-mana, a meta power. Which would be offline for everything else. So you have the ability to limit what access you have as a narrative device or as a means of preventing too much homebrew invading your game if you were to use this system. So that's tangential, but we've talked about it a lot in the past. I thought I'd bring it up. It was worth mentioning. So I'm really happy with that technique, this class feature now. So then let's go to let's go to our next one, so we can get rid of that, get all of that. And do I have a timer going? I should have a timer going.
When you hit with this...
No, it doesn't look like I have a timer going. What's up, Adi? Well, I've been active for 30 minutes, so we're doing good. All right, got 20 minutes going now. Let's see, we'll get rid of this. 6th level, you gain the ability to heal yourself. As an action, you can regain hit points equal to 3 times your monk level. You must finish a long rest before you can use this feature again. Excuse me for openly laughing at that. Let's go ahead and take a look. I know we have a healing option that already exists inside of the book, as I believe it's an no, it's a maneuver. Hold on. Like healing touch or restorative touch. Healing radiance. You can heal one teacher you touch with a number of hit points equal to the result of 1 power die per mana burned. Okay, so this is a first rank power. It's a maneuver. Maneuvers can be used as actions or bonus actions. You can use them twice in the same round. If you want to use both an action and a bonus action, you can do it twice. So a lot of flexibility there in you building the kind of action sequences that you want. And again, looking at your power progression here, you start with a D6. By 9th level, you upgrade to a D8. By 17th level, you upgrade to a D10. The monk is an exception to this because you can use your martial arts die instead of your power die whenever you're using a combat, a martial power. So if the monk evolves into having a D6, D8, D10, D12, then often you're going to have a better die as a monk than you would have as a martial character. So you're already going to be getting better value out of that. It'd start the same with a D6 at first level, but the monk, if it goes to the advanced progression, you'd have a D8 at 5th level instead of 8th. And then by the time you get to 11th, it'd be a D10 instead of a D10 at 17th. It'd be, D8 and then D10. And then at 17, it would upgrade to a D12. So you're automatically going to be doing better as a monk in general than other martial classes, which just makes using martial powers with a monk specifically just that much juicier. So I'm really happy about that. But that healing factor is pretty laughable. This is, you spend at least 1 mana and you'll roll dice with it. So that probably means we need to give you access to the healing. Let's actually enhance this a bit. Let's go with what's it called again? Healing Radiance. There you go. Healing Radiance. That's maneuver, first rank. I think I know how I want to do this. At 6th level, you gain the ability to heal yourself. As an action, you enhance your ability. You enhance your ability to heal yourself. When you channel the Healing Radiance power, which you gain as a bonus power at 5th level. So when this comes on at online at 6th level, you could have had it at 1st level if you wanted it, but by 5th level you get it for free. So that frees up that slot, and at 6th level we're going to enhance it further. So at 6th level, you enhance your ability to heal yourself. When you channel the Healing Radiance power, you can also spend resting hit dice to further increase the amount of hit points regained, spending a number of HD up to hit dice for up to, you can spend a number of hit dice this way equal to the maximum rank of power gained as a monk. So at 6th level, you'll have access to 2nd rank. You'll be 6th level. So whenever you use Wholeness of Body to enhance your ability to heal by channeling the Healing Radiance power, all you have to do is spend 1 mana to trigger Healing Radiance to get your, at 6th level, it'd be a D6, right? Well, as a monk, it'd be a D8. And then you can spend up to, because you're set at 6th level, 2nd rank, 2 extra hit dice on top of that as part of your healing. So you get the ability, and you can blow hit dice on yourself anytime you want. On yourself, to heal yourself. Healing Radiance can be used to heal anybody, but when you use it with Wholeness of Body, it's extra good. So I'm really happy with that. I just think that's super useful, and fuck you with you only using it once per long rest. That's dumb. So let's get rid of that, and let's keep this going here. Oh boy, I am loving how we're making these changes. This shit is the bee's knees to knees. There we go. Open hand technique. 3rd, Wholeness of Body. 6th, Tranquility. So what does Tranquility do? Beginning at 11th level, you can enter a special meditation that surrounds you with an aura of peace. At the end of a long rest, you gain the effect of the Sanctuary spell that lasts until the start of your next long rest. The spell can end early as normal. The saving throw DC for the spell equals... I think we can do this one better. Beginning at 11th level, you can enter a special meditation that surrounds you with an aura of peace. At the end of a long rest, you gain the effect of a As a sustained power, you can channel one. And let's see what. Hold on. .5e Sanctuary. What level spell is this? I feel like it's a 2nd level spell, but maybe it's first. It's 1st level spell. Badass. 1st level spells equal 1 mana using the color mana spell point variant rule system. So, beginning at 11th level, you can enter a special meditation that surrounds you with an aura of peace. As a sustained power, you can channel 1 mana to maintain the Sanctuary spell Yeah, it's only you. You can enter a special meditation that surrounds you with an aura of peace. As a sustained power, you can channel 1 mana to maintain the Sanctuary spell, targeting only yourself. The saving throw DC uses your channeling a creature attempting to attack you must make a wisdom saving throw against your attack you as described in the spell. Must make a wisdom saving throw against your channeling DC. Period. This effect ends as normally as described. Has no duration while sustained, and ends normally as described in the spell. Period. So you basically gain Sanctuary as a 1st level spell that you can sustain, and The caveat with monks is that they can lock it and still channel through a locked channel. So you can permanently lock Sanctuary on yourself as one of the 5 auras that you can maintain yourself. Like at 17th level, you have 5 mana you can tap, right? You can sustain up to 5 levels worth of effects, or 5 ranks worth, worth of sustained effects. Excuse me. Sanctuary becomes one of them for the Way of the Open Hand. That is fantastic. But again, if you attack with it, that causes the spell effect to end, which burns the mana. This effect has no duration while sustained and ends normally as described in the spell, burning the mana when you do. As normal. That might be a little wordy, but that's why we hire an editor to clean this shit up. Tranquility. That is freaking righteous. That's actually really, really good. Like, that's a really good reason to stay with Monk to 11th level, man. This guy's a nightmare. Quivering Palm. Okay, Quivering Palm. This is a contentious ability. At 17th level, you gain the ability to set up lethal vibrations in someone's body. When you hit a creature with an unarmed strike, you can spend 3 key points to start these imperceptible vibrations, which last for a number of days equal to your monk level. So far, so good. The vibrations are harmless unless you use your action to end them. To do so, you and the target must be on the same plane of existence when you use this action. The creature must make a Constitution saving throw. If it fails, it is reduced to 0 hit points. If it succeeds, it takes 10d10 necrotic damage. You can have only 1 creature under the effect of this feature at a time. If it fails, it's reduced to 0 hit. Why is this 10d10 while Long Death is 20d10? Oh, it's reduced to 0 hit points. That's why. Jesus crack. Yeah, that's a thing. And then it has to make death saves. So, holy bejesus. I don't think that's enough key, honestly. I don't think I've ever thought that was enough key. You have only 1 creature under the effects of this feature at a time. You can choose to end the vibrations harmlessly without using an action. Okay, great. We can use most of this, but you need the ability to set lethal strikes. You can spend, I'm going to say you can spend 5 mana. Which lasts for a number of days, equals your monk level. The vibrations are harmless unless you use your action to end them. To do so, you and the target must be on the same plane of existence. When you use this action, if it fails, it's just, are harmless unless it is used action to end them. To do so, at 17th level, as a maneuver, and again, maneuvers can be done as actions or bonus actions. You and the target must be on the same plane of existence. When you use this action, as a maneuver. 17th level, in somebody's body, you gain the ability in somebody's body as a maneuver. Purred. When you hit a creature with an unarmed strike, you can spend 5 mana. You gain the ability to set up lethal vibrations in somebody's body as a strike power. Strike powers are done when you successfully hit somebody. So as a strike power is most accurate. So you hit as a special strike. It doesn't deal any initial damage. I mean, you deal damage, but it's a strike power, so it can't be combined with combat masteries, and it can't be combined with any of the other strikes that you know. This is its own strike. When you hit a creature with an unarmed strike, You can spend 5 mana as a strike power. As a strike power. There we go. 5 mana as a strike power to start these imperceptible vibrations, which last for a number of days equal to your monk level. The vibrations are harmless unless you use your action. Unless you trigger the vibrations to end them as a maneuver. Let's do it on the same plane of existence. When you use this action, when you trigger the vibrations, the creature must make a Constitution saving throw. If it fails, it's reduced to 0 hit points. If it succeeds, it takes 10d10 necrotic damage. You can have only one creature under the effect of this feature at a time. You can choose to end the vibrations harmlessly without using an action. I think that's pretty goddamn good. Bam! Okay, I'm really happy with that. Okay, so that's our... Am I... Yeah, I'm active. Okay, cool. So that's our first look. Now we're going to take a quick tangent, and I think I'm happy. I'm going to have to see something pretty goddamn impressive inside of this UA8 for me to think that I need to change any of these features. Because I'm pretty sure we are above and beyond anything that Wizards is willing to do to improve the monk. But we will see. Taking a quick coffee break. Break my arm while I pat myself on the back real quick. Ah! Good job, Kearney. Good job. So let's dive further down into the monk. Yeah, I'm looking at using martial powers for druids when they wild shape. That won't be in this supplement. That'll be in a follow-up supplement, because once this book is built, there is no end to different little mana, martial power, spell casting, little combos that we can create for different types of characters. Like, there's a lot of really cool shit 2025 and beyond we're going to be able to do with the system in place. Whether it's going to be something that I just casually publish on my Patreon or build out into something more formal for a DMsGuild release to act as a coupon for the system. We'll see how that all fleshes out. But we're once we get all 13 classes working on the same mana system, and then the PH has been updated for 2024 for like probably another 10 years, we're going to be seeing really solid for us to be able to create any kind of MTG content that we want for either official settings on DMsGuild or as just our own little larks of fancy on my Patreon. So keep an eye out for that stuff. I'm really looking forward to moving forward in the future with this stuff. So I already looked at the monk, but I specifically didn't look at the open hand because I knew we were going to be doing open hand today. So, having said that, warrior of the hand. Is there anything other than the hand? Hand warrior? Hand warrior? Nope, spells. Okay, cool. Let's see what they give ye old open hand. Addle. The target can't make opportunity attacks until the start of this next turn. Addle's pretty good. Okay, I'm willing to steal titles from things. So we can go down and we can call that Addle. I don't think that's breaking anybody's rules. That's a good one. Addle's a good one. I like that. Instead of stagger, we can call it Addle. That's fun. What else you got? What you got? Push. I got push. The target must succeed a strength save, or you push it up to 15 feet away from yourself. Okay, you've got a better push with that one, but you can always use push with ours. It doesn't require flurry of blows. If you've got 3 attacks, you can just push them 3 times, whatever. You can also dump a point of mana. For every point of mana, if you take, just for those that are concerned about flexibility, it costs you, what, 1 point to use the Flurry of Blows. Thank you. Use Flurry of Blows. We have for 1 point, you can use Thundering Strike. Thundering Strike is whatever weapon, not just your unarmed, not just Flurry of Blows with unarmed attack, but any weapon that you are proficient with can deal thunder damage, and you can add extra damage dice, 1 mana minimum, up to 5 at 17th to deal an extra power die of damage. And the creature up to 1 size larger than you is pushed back directly from you up to 10 feet away for each point of mana burned. So if you burn 5 mana, you can punt somebody 50 feet. They don't get a saving throw, they just get pushed. Different. Okay. Topple, that makes a dexterity check or is prone. Topple. I call it trip. Saving throw, fall down. I could call it topple. Maybe I should. Nah, just leave it trip. I'll go with that. Okay, so that's cool. Wholeness of body. How have you improved wholeness? You gain the ability to heal yourself, yes. As a bonus action, okay, I have a bonus action already. You can roll martial arts die, which we already allow. You regain a number of hit points equal to the number rolled, plus your wisdom modifier, minimum of 1 hit point gained. You can use this feature a number of times equal to your wisdom modifier, minimum of once, and you regain all expended uses on a long rest. Okay, we already have a mana supply that lets you deal more dice with the hit dice that you can spend instead of being on a short rest to spend. So I will say we are, our wholeness of body is better, but we're not necessarily trying to be statistically superior. I just like how our martial power system works. Fleet Step, that's interesting. You can easily stride out of harm's way. Okay. When you take a bonus action other than Step of the Wind, you can also use Step of the Wind as that bonus action. When you take a bonus action other than Step of the Wind, you can also use Step of the Wind as part of the bonus action. Well, now I gotta go look at what Step of the Wind does again. Hold on. Step of the Wind. When you spend a discipline point to use Step of the Wind, you can choose to take a willing creature within 5 feet of you that is large or smaller. You move the creature with you until the end of your turn. The creature's movement doesn't provoke opportunity attacks. You can take the dash action as a bonus action. Alternatively, you can spend 1 discipline point to take both dash and disengage. Yeah, I like that. I think that's actually great. I'd be perfectly fine with using this new, what are they calling them? Monk's Discipline. I'd be perfectly happy using this Patient Defense and Step of the Wind instead of the stuff that we have in our Elemental Keybook, which is linked down below in the Color Mana Spell Point Variant rule system. It's elegant. I like it. It's clever. I'm totally cool with it. It doesn't break anything. It's added value, and it's allowing you to stack bonus action technique, bonus action economy, which I love. I think that's a great decision. So I have no problem with that at all. So, but Fleeting Step, I don't think that really. I like the Sanctuary ability that we have. We'll see where that goes in the future. That was Fleet Step. Let's see what they did with Quivering Palm. You gain the ability to set up lethal vibrations in a perfect body. You hit somebody with an unarmed strike. You can spend 4 discipline points. Okay, they're moving in my direction. 4 discipline to start imperceptible vibrations, which lasts for a number of days equal to your monk level. Okay, the vibrations are harmless. Okay, you can take the attack at are harmless unless you use the action to end them. Okay, alternatively, when you take the attack action on your turn, you can replace one of your attacks with this. Oh, that's cool. We have it set up as a maneuver, so you can use an action or a bonus action to end them. So you can hit somebody, and then you can use a bonus action to trigger the effect, which isn't as efficient as an attack action. So I might decide to pick up and change the language with this if this sticks. But it's neat that they're going in that direction. That's a really good use of action economy. I really dig that. It takes 10d12 force damage. Okay, so when you use this action, the target must make a Constitution saving throw, taking 10d12 force damage on a failed save, or half as much on a successful one. So it doesn't kill you anymore. You can have only one creature under the effect of this at a time, and you can end it harmlessly without using any action. Okay, I mean, you're 17th level. And, okay, so here's a trade secret about 5th edition. When a monster reaches 0 hit points, it doesn't have to die unless you say it does. It could have death saving throws, which could use a legendary action to automatically succeed at least one of them, or 2 of them, or maybe even 3 of them. So you can automatically succeed your death saves if you want to. So Quivering Palm, it's okay for that to still drop something to 0 hit points. Because if it's a big bad evil guy that the team is supposed to be fighting as a boss fight, the worst thing that's going to happen is you're going to make it take a knee. So this doesn't just end the campaign like you might want it to. But it can drop any minions or any mid-level boss at any time. You're 17th level. For God's sake, you should be able to throw things around and kill shit. Pardon me for a second. I apparently have a nose goblin that needs disciplining. And we're back. Hey, guys. All right, cool. So, I mean, hey, good changes. If they decide to move forward with this, I'd be perfectly fine with converting it. I'd still put it at 5 hit point, at 5 mana to use. I'd still go with the maneuver thing, though. I'd be okay with using an action instead. But until this goes through, I'm perfectly happy with the changes that we made, and I'm actually very proud of them. So this is solid. So now we get to spend the rest of our session on building out power lists. So I'm going to go ahead and kick this out of the way. This is done. We can scrap that and actually cancel. Let's not get rid of it right away. Instead, let's just grab these features again, copy them, drop them here into the book so we have them for reference. And now we get to go searching for abilities. So we're almost at an hour, so we're gonna see how quickly we can get through the power list, and if we're efficient in gaining our list of powers, we'll then drop down into the ranger and start fleshing out the ranger power lists as well. So good luck to us, right, team? Let's see. Go here. Go to our list of powers. I like starting at the highest level and working our way down. Since we worked our way up in the features, we're now at 17th level in the features. I now want to work our way back down at 17th level. To see what cool stuff is out there. So, the ultimate martial artist. What does that mean, huh? Master of Fate. When you trigger this power, roll 3 d20 fate dice, and you can use that dice instead of a die result if you want, and you can spend mana to refresh or replace die rolls that you gain on the Master of Fate die. It's okay. It doesn't scream to me ultimate martial artist, though. We're looking for ultimate martial artist stuff right now. You get Flurry of Attacks for free. So we don't need that one. Daunting Presence, nah. Resistances don't say martial artist to me. Sturdy, maybe. We could come back with Sturdy, Quick, and Astute. Those aren't horrible things to add on. When sustaining this power, you gain advantage on intelligence and wisdom checks. That's, my god, these nose goblins are just insurrection of the nose goblins. All right. Let's try that again. Close quarter combat. While this power is sustained, all melee attacks you make gain the grappling strike power as detailed above, adding 1 power die to your grappling checks. That does sound like ultimate martial artist to me. Let's go with that. And that's second rank, so close quarter. Bracket. Bracket plus grappling strike. Bracket. What is that, sus 2? Sus 2. Actually, you know what? Let's offer grappling strike independently as well. And we'll go look at grappling strike real quick so you know what this is saying. Strike 1. Strike 1! Because, like, grappling is very, very martial artist. That is ultimate martial art shit. So I'm happy to have that instilled. Let's take a look at what it does. Grappling strike, I think, is a first rank power. Is that correct? Yes. Grappling strike, melee attacks only. Your weapon damage increases by 1 power die per mana burned. So you're going to spend 1 mana. If you're using the close quarter combat, you get 1 mana for free whenever you make an attack. And at first level, that'd be a D6. Then again, the monk evolves into a D12 eventually. By 1 power die per mana burned. And you can grapple a creature 1 size larger than you with the weapon, adding the highest power die result to the grappling ability check. So you're going to make your grappling check, and I believe that's going to be changing with 2024 into a, you automatically, if you hit, you automatically succeed at grappling if you choose. So we would change this language to when you succeed with a grappling attack, deal an extra power die of damage, and increase the DC to escape your grapple by 1 power die, is basically, or redo, or like penalize their saving throw by 1 power die, that sort of thing. Which is, D&D doesn't like, 5e doesn't like doing subtraction as a math function, so we might just increase our DC by this by this power die. That might be the better way to put it. Let's see. Your weapon damage increases by 1 power die, mana burned, and you can grapple a creature 1 size larger than you with the weapon, adding the highest power die result. Because you could spend, like at 17th level, you could spend 5 mana to do an extra 5d12 damage, and whichever die result of those 5 power dice, like say you get an 11 or a 12, right? Then you'd be able to use that, say you rolled an 11, then you could add that 11 to the grapple to the grapple roll that you have, or yeah, like add it to your die, or the grapple ends when you choose to or attack another target with the grappling weapon. If you are incapacitated, or if the grappled creature breaks free with a successful save or dex strength or dex save. There you go. So that's what grappling strike does. So close quarter combat specifically takes 2 mana to maintain it. And while this power is sustained, all melee attacks you make gain the grappling strike power as detailed above, adding 1 power die to your grappling checks. You can add, if you know the grappling strike power as well, you can add the power dice. You can add mana burned with the strike power to the power die gained with this sustained power. So at 17th level, you could sustain close quarter combat. It's 2 mana to do that, and you could say take an extra 4 mana, and or let's just say 3 mana. You could take an extra 3 mana to do a grappling strike, and that would then be potentially up to 5 dice. If you were to put all 5 mana in at 17th level on top of the close quarter combat, you'd be able to roll 6 dice worth of damage, and then of those 6 dice, take the best result and add that to your grapple. So I love that. That's freaking great. And hey, it's 2 techniques with 1 option, so even better. Close quarter combat, that's freaking awesome. I'm happy with it. Cloud Strider. When this power is sustained, you can fly. That's being able to fly isn't necessarily a very martial arts focused option. When you take the attack action, you can forgo any number of attacks during your turn to gain an equal number of additional opportunities. You know what? Honestly, Opportunist, that actually feels like a really great sustained power as well. Let's put that up at 13. Opportunist. You can, at 17th level, your rank of power is the number of ranks of sustained powers that you can sustain together at once. So at 13th level, you have 4th rank here. See? And then, hey, Willie. Hey, you finally made it. Good job. I'll be here for like another 15, 20 minutes. So, good job, man. Getting better. Let's see. Okay, so a 13th level monk can sustain 4 ranks worth of sustained powers at once. And so at 13th level, you'd have the Opportunist power, which is 2 ranks, and you could have, say, Close Quarter Combat, which is also 2 ranks. So at 13th level, you could have both of those sustained at the same time. So you could become a Close Quarter Combat Specialist, and you can convert the 2 attacks. Like when you make the attack action, you could forgo both of the attacks that you get, and you could then instead convert that into having 2 additional opportunity attacks per round. You have your normal reaction, but then the Opportunist allows you to convert attacks during your attack action into additional potential opportunity attacks that could line up later on. So that's how that action economy kind of works. I think Opportunist is a very, the open hand monk is supposed to be the ultimate martial artist, right? Well, I think the ultimate martial artist should be able to react in the moment very fluidly, being able to act only on reactions defensively if you were to so choose. And a ton of the reactions that are inside of this book are treated as opportunity attacks. So you can trigger all sorts of cool shit as opportunity attacks using Opportunist on top of it. So I think we'll probably lean into some of those reactions next. We're currently in strikes. We picked up the grappling strike at 5th level because grappling is incredibly martial artsy. We gave him the healing radiance ability specifically because the 6th level enhances the healing radiance ability. So automatically gaining healing radiance at 5th level and then having an upgrade to that maneuver at 6th level, I think that's just elegant game design, so we went with it. Tripping Strike. Your weapon damage increases by 1 power die per mana burned, and you can knock creatures up to 1 size larger than you or smaller prone. You automatically knock them prone. How about that? Kicker. How about this? Kicker. You kicker 5 mana. You can knock gargantuan creatures prone. As an exploit. I don't think 5's too expensive. Let's make it 3. So a kicker effect here. I've just started introducing kicker effects, which is you have the normal ability, but you want to be able to do something extra with it. So you have a kicker effect, and then we define what that kicker effect is. Exploits are things that modify die rolls or other actions using that same action economy, just enhancing it. Strikes are kind of like an exploit, but they have their own category because they're specifically for dealing damage and utilizing dice in that manner. So kicker, as an exploit, spend 3 mana, you can knock a gargantuan creature prone. Even though you can get the size huge using the giant size, the giant growth cantrip, or the giant growth power, you can spend 4 mana, and that's also a kicker to become huge. And then the tripping strike, if you are smaller than huge. There, that cleans up that language elegantly. Period. Okay, cool. I like that. And we can add that, we can filter that language in for everything that it would qualify for. So let's put a note here. Let's search for other size restrictions that we can kick to greater effect. You can, let's try this instead. You can spend 2 additional mana to increase the size of target affected. And then, just to be redundant, you can spend 4 additional mana to increase the size of the target to target 2 sizes larger, to target 3 sizes larger. There we go. So if you're a size medium, you can naturally do large with Tripping Strike, or you can spend 2 extra mana to do huge, or you can spend 4 extra mana to trip gargantuan. And then we have the scaling gargantuan sizes for kaiju colossal creatures that we have listed in our rules up above here for combat mechanic modifiers. And again, you can check in the playlist down here if you don't know already. You can check down here in the description and click on Patreon. And then you don't have to be a patron to access this information, but God bless you if you are. And you can scroll down here to the playtest content for martial powers and click on that. And that'll throw up in the exact same document that we're working in right now. It'll just be read-only for you. And you can tag along with us. We're currently down on, where are we at? Page 8. We're on page 56 of 84 of the document. So you can join me there. Let's see. Close quarter combat. I like that a lot. Tripping Strike. Tripping Strike is... That's a very monkly thing to be. Let's see if there's something even more martial artsy. But tripping, all these different maneuvers, Tripping Strike, the grappling strike thing, the thundering strike, these are all like damage causing combat masteries that your character can certainly get access to. I think more so than anything, Tavern Brawler as a feat makes perfect sense because you can just improvise any weapon in it. It becomes a martial arts weapon for you. That's fucking epic. But what other cool shit do we have crawling around inside here we want to jump at? We're looking at maneuvers. Let's see. What other cool maneuvers exist? Oh, yep. Here's our strikes. That's right. We were looking at Tripping Strike initially. That's what caused that cascade to occur. God, any of these, I mean, all these strikes are so fucking good. It's rare that you actually need to add a strike to somebody's kit to make it like super very much their spiel. Because a character could take any of these and they're super useful. Right, a revival, a hex, defensive barrier, no. Fickle fate, no. Redirect, ooh. 2 ranks. As a reaction to when a creature you can see hits another creature with an attack, you can redirect the damage, the attack to target another creature you can see within 30 feet of you. even if the attacking creature would not normally be able to do so. Now, this redirect, that's basically what they converted deflect attack into with the UA8, and I'm super on board with that. That simplifies my job a lot by having more WotC stuff worth keeping encoded. So I don't need to pick that one up. Moving target as a reaction to when a creature you can see moves into or within the reach of your melee weapon. You can make an opportunity attack. There's the opportunity attack phrasing again. Even if the target is using the disengage action or the movement is forced. Rolling 1 power die per mana, adding the highest result to the attack roll. Caveats on top of caveats, yo. Let's go with it. Moving target. Let's pick that up. Moving target. Reaction 2. Yeah, I like that. Countering attack as this is counter strike. It's a counter spell inside of an attack. That's not specifically monk. As a reaction to an enemy you can see within range of your weapon attack misses an attack roll against you or an ally, you can make an opportunity attack, adding 1 power die to the attack roll. Man, notice how this could be any range, within range of your weapon attack, and it doesn't say specifically melee. So if you're an archer, and you can pick up punish, and then you can use opportunist to convert all of your attacks to opportunity attacks. So whenever you see somebody making an attack roll against you or an ally, and they miss, you can then pluck an arrow into them. Fun stuff. There's just a ton of crap in here that makes it like feint a reaction to missing a roll. You can roll again. Empowered defense as a reaction to when you're hit by an attack roll from a source you can see. Roll a number of power dice equal to the mana burned. You gain a bonus to armor class equal to the highest die result until the beginning of your next turn, potentially changing a hit into a miss. And that costs what? Is that a 1 mana expenditure? That's pretty good. Cannot be spelled with 2 T's. Deflection as a reaction to when you or an ally within reach of your melee attack are hit by an attack roll from a source you can see. The attack is re-rolled, taking the new result. This re-roll cannot score a critical hit. This reaction is considered an opportunity attack. Hell yes, let's take that. What is that, reaction 1? Yeah, holy crap, that's great. Let's see, before we dive too deep into the reaction pipeline, we still have 1, 2, 3 things to pick up. Let's just go poke around in the exploits here real quick to see if there's anything. Well, yeah, now we're into maneuvers. Let's see if there's anything juicy down here that we want to pick up. Regeneration, reincarnation. These are the techniques of the demons. Pack tactics. When you channel this maneuver, target a creature you can see. Other creatures can gain advantage to hit that target until the beginning of your next turn. Double strike, we don't need it, but it's freaking choice for a rogue to pick up because it's a maneuver, so you can use that as an action or as a bonus action. It costs 2 mana a pop, but like a rogue could pick up double strike and make 2 attacks with their action, and then as a bonus action make 2 attacks. And you're still limited to only 1 sneak attack per turn, but you could dump in double strike and almost guarantee that you'll be able to hit. You can draw a weapon as part of each attack. I love that. Cursed Brand. You curse a target. Nah. Swift Resuscitation. You can stabilize. Nah. Vanish. Nah. Swift Attunement. Nah. Restraining Hold. While grappling, you can deal 1 power die of weapon damage per mana burned to the grappled creature and force it to make a strength or dexterity saving throw. If the save fails, the creature is restrained until the grapple ends. The creature can make an additional save at the end of each of its turns. Restraining Hold isn't actually, that's pretty martial artsy, don't you think? And that's an exploit. Let's go with that. Or is that? No, that's a maneuver, isn't it? Yeah, it's a maneuver. It's maneuver 1. So you could use that, like you grapple somebody, you could use your bonus action to restrain them. Or if you really wanted to, you could use your next turn. Like if you use bonus action for like Flurry of Blows and you're using Grappling Strike while you're using Flurry of Blows, you can lock them up and then you could use your you could then use your standard action if you chose bonus action or action, choose either one, and a monk has bonus action or an action, can use flurry of blows. So you have a lot of rotation that you can do between those two things. Again, you get to set up and create your own action loop that you think is most appropriate for how you want your character to be envisioned, which I just love. Coordinated dash, no. Coordinated attack, no. Bonus attack, irrelevant. Beguiling trance, off flavor. Unstoppable, when an effect or condition other than incapacitated or death, unconscious, or death reduces your movement to 0, you can ignore the movement penalty until the end of your next turn. Though you might not be able to take any other actions because you could be paralyzed and you can't take any actions, but this is going to allow you to move anyway while you're paralyzed. Ironically, this would allow you to do things like overrun, because overrun, channel this exploit as part of a move action. You can move through spaces occupied by creatures. This movement can trigger opportunity attacks unless you kick the power, burning 3 or more mana. So that, so you could, excuse me, you could trigger unstoppable so you can still move, and then you could trigger overrun and charge so you can still be doing damage to people even though you're paralyzed. That's reminding me of that. What was that movie with Harry Potter when he was playing a corpse? He was a dead. His character died and he was being carried around by his friend. That's kind of what that makes me think of. Hypertunistic. When you make an opportunity attack, you can attack the same creature twice. Excuse me, but that's insane. Hypertunistic. I love it. That is an exploit. What, 2? 3. Whew, expensive. You can take. This is the last thing we have to worry about, and I wanted to come down here to the meta power. Anyway, because they don't cost any mana at 3rd level. You want stuff that doesn't cost mana. But again, there's efficient power, which you can take for anything that's a 2nd or higher rank power. Which is, again, just to remind people that don't know, efficient power. Choose a power you have learned of 2nd rank or higher. Reduce the rank and amount of mana to channel the power by 1. This doesn't modify any kicker costs. If you later swap out this power, the power that's being modified, then you have to replace this feat as well. But what this lets us do is, like, say you take Hypertunistic, which is a 3 mana exploit. It just affects one opportunity attack that you were to make. But if you were to expend efficient power, you could drop it down to 2 instead of 3. But you can only drop it once. So you can't drop everything down to just 1 mana and have like 10 things you can do for 1 mana all day. That's just too powerful. But the efficient power is fun to do. So the open hand automatically gets all of the combat masteries over time. So I guess we're looking at feats, right? We already picked up Tavern Brawler, because the ability to make anything a monk weapon is just too fucking good. Is there anything else that is jumping out at us? Mobile? Mobile is pretty good. Let's see. Dual welder. Yeah. That's perfect. So, fighting initiate, you get to learn a fighting style, if I'm not mistaken. Let me double check that real quick. Back to top. Is that what that does? I hope it does. As a result, you learn one fighting... Yeah, there you go. You learn one fighting style option of your choice from the fighter class. If you already have a style, you can choose... must be a different one. There. Whenever you reach a level that grants The ability score improvement feature, you can replace this fighting style with another one. Of course, you can just choose to relearn it every time you take a long rest. But I think that's fucking perfect. That's perfect. That is the perfect way to complement the open hand. The ultimate martial artist, of course, should have access to fighting styles. Wow, this is really good. I'm really, really happy with this. Holy crap. Okay, how are we doing on time here? We are at 1 minute, 1 hour and 25 minutes. Got about 5 minutes left on the block. We have next on Friday when we come back, we're going to do the last of the monk archetypes traditions. Sorry, the last monk tradition, which will be Way of the Sun Soul. So I'm looking forward to Dragon Ball Z-ing that with everybody. But we have a few minutes left, so let's see what happens if we can dive down here into Beastmaster and have our power list. We want to build a power list for the Beastmaster of 10 powers. We want to build a power list of 10 powers for the Drake Warden. The Fey Wanderer gets 5 bonus spells, so we want to give them 5 powers to go along with it. So you get 10 freebies on top of the 16 that you get to prepare. Gloomstalker doesn't get any spells, so we're going to give them 10. Horizon Walker gets 5 spells, so we're going to give them 5 power. And boy, there's a shitload of stuff we can do for Horizon Walker. Hunter's going to get 10. Monster Slayer gets 5, so we're going to give them 5. Swarm Keeper gets 5, so we're going to give them 5 powers. And then that'll be the end of it. So Friday, we're going to finish the Monk. And then probably by Monday or Tuesday, we're going to flesh out all these power kits for the Ranger. You know what? These things require 10, and that's going to take more time. And I was already laughing about how easy it's going to be to flesh out the Horizon Walker, but we haven't gotten there yet. So what do we want to do about this? Let's see if we can get something going for the Fey Wanderer real quick before we bounce out of here. So we'll start at 4th rank like usual. Master of Fate. Does that feel like Fey? Twisting Fate around? Probably not. Weapon resistance, unnatural resistance. Weapon resistance isn't bad. That's going to be sus 2. Force Necrotic. Unnatural resistance isn't bad to pick up either, honestly. Giant Growth. Honestly, Giant Growth sounds kind of like fun stuff for Fae, huh? Let's, I'm sensing a trend here. 222. These are just default fillers, right? If we can find better options at these higher levels than what we have here, great. I'm happy to take them. But for now, we're just grabbing up stuff that the first thing makes sense. Let's just grab it, and then we can debate it as we get further into the class. Quick. Advantage on Charisma and Dexterity. Quick isn't bad. Quick. That's also sus too. Oh my god. Well, if it's any consolation, our third rank, our third level power can't be second rank. So I think there's an argument for Giant Growth, because Fae changing size, that's not crazy. But I'm already so filled up that I don't think we necessarily need it. Strange Metabolism. When sustaining this power, you're immune to poison. Nah, that's not specifically Fae. Castigation. Ooh. When you channel this power, choose a creature you can see. You always know which direction the chosen creature is while it remains in the same plane of existence as you. That kind of duplicates one of the things that you get as a result of your marked prey feature that replaces Hunter's Mark. Thank you for the timer. But honestly, being able to mark multiple creatures, you can only mark one creature at a time. But castigation, you can tag that onto multiple characters, onto multiple creatures. I kind of feel like castigation is, no, it's not specifically Fey. It's a neat idea. Ooh, auto attunement. When sustaining this power, you attune to any magic item you're wearing or holding that meets the prerequisites to use. That actually feels very Fey. So let's go with that. That is sus too, but I'm gonna lock that one in as good to go. Astute, gain advantage on intelligence and wisdom checks. That's not bad. Swift assessment. Saving grace. When sustaining this power, you have advantage on saving throws for one of your abilities of choice. You can channel it multiple times, choosing different ability scores to have advantage on the saving throws. It's not bad. Rogue stance is juicy, but it's not specifically Fey. Saving grace isn't that? I mean, Fey. Nah. Power armor, power shield for Fey. Ooh, omnilinguist. While sustaining this power, you can communicate with and be understood by any creature with a spoken language. That actually feels very Fey. People can argue with me if they want. Omnilinguist. Sus one. I like that. Elemental resistance, dire impact, crouching stance, cliff runner. Nah. Banishing strike for Fey. Ooh, delusional strike. That's a Fey sort of thing to do. Let's pick that up. Hot daggity. That's a good one. This is when you hit somebody, you roll a power die, and the result of the die roll is the effect that you get, right? So the die roll goes up to 7+. You start with a D6. This is a third ranked power, so you won't. You would have a D8 when you first get it, but as you gain levels, and a monk eventually gets a D12 instead of a D10. So on a 12-sided die, if you roll 7 or above, creature doesn't move or take actions this turn. It's just a confusion spell. 5 or 6, melee attack goes to somebody other than you. Choose a random direction to start running, or on a roll of 1 or 2, it acts normally. But on a D8, D10, D12, that's unlikely to happen. So it's chaotic. That's a really, really good one. I like that. Provoking strike, poisoning strike, life-stealing strike, intimidating strike, axiom strike. Oh, axiom strike. Your weapon can deal radiant damage and add 1 power die per mana burned. The creature glows with faint light, negating the benefit of invisibility or concealment. That is a really, really good one. So let's go with Axiom Strike. I like that. These are really good. Holy crap. Okay. Third. Wait a second. Okay. Would anyone agree or disagree that telepathic or telekinetic is a decent Fey-flavored ability? What about mobile? Mobile actually might be better for their action curve. Let's look that up again. And then we'll be done for the day. And we'll come back on Friday and we'll do more of this stuff. God, I fucking love doing this stuff. Mobile. Speed increases 10 feet. When you use the dash action, difficult terrain doesn't count as extra movement. You take melee attack against a creature. You don't provoke opportunity attacks from that creature for the rest of the turn. Nice. Yeah, we're definitely going to pick up mobile. There we done. We did it. Well done, guys. We did it. All right, cool. So that's going to be it for today. Willie, thanks for showing up, my guy. Thanks a lot. When we come back next on Friday, we're going to finish the monk with the We're going to do Way of the Sun Soul. We're going to make sure that we like how that looks and change anything that we need to. We're then going to add 10 powers to its power list. Assuming that we have any time left over, we're then going to drift down here into Ranger. And if we have time, we'll build out the Beastmaster. If we don't have time, then maybe we'll go with Horizon Walker or something. We'll figure out. We'll start working on Ranger stuff that's not done. And I think we've done Fey Wanderer. Yeah, next Gloomstalker is the next one that we have to rekit, like recalibrate using the new tech that we developed over the past 4 months since we first built these. Horizon Walker as well. Hunter, Monster Slayer, Swarmkeeper, Monster Slayer, Hunter, Horizon Walker. Okay, so we have 5 of these to go. Plus 1, 2. So we'll start it. Yeah, we'll get Monk done on Friday. We'll start in on the rehash of Rangers, and then we'll be done. And then we'll start looking at the DM side of the book, because for now, this will cap off the player side. Then we'll get into the DM side where we're talking about building monster kits, magic items, magic paradigms for devoting mana to different types of mana, different types of magic, and then the playtest hex crawl kit that we're going to build for playtesting this from level 3 to 7. So that's it for now, guys. Thanks a lot for checking this stuff out. If you think it's cool, I'm here 6 days a week painting and designing stuff. You can like, subscribe, hit the bell icon here to get notifications when I'm up and running in the future. Check out all the books and stuff that I have down below here if you think this stuff is cool. Would love to have you guys on board with me to explore this and all the other books that we've been building. And I'll see you guys later. Thanks a lot. Tomorrow morning, we'll be back tomorrow morning to do more Spelljammer, combat, and exploration artwork. So hopefully I'll see some of you guys then. Cheers.